Hi there, my name's Vince from mymatevince.com, and in this video today we're going to try and fix up this portable device here that plays Mega Drive games, Sega Genesis games. So the good thing about this is it actually plays the cartridge based games, which is nice. So this was sent over by Mike from One Up Gaming Limited over on eBay. He sent me a whole box of really interesting stuff, so hopefully over the next few weeks and months I will be working my way through them. So with this one now, I've charged it up for a good few hours today, and when I plug it in the little light comes on to indicate it is charging via the mini USB here, but when I turn it on nothing is happening. I've also tried plugging it in via an AV out cable. Now I don't know if this is the one for here, this is just one that I've got around the house, but nothing's happening via AV out either. Now when it is on, although nothing displays and you can't hear the game playing either, there is a kind of buzz coming from it. Let's see if the microphone will pick it up. So let's take it apart and let's see what's on the inside. Now I read a little review about this, and this basically does have the Mega Drive chip in it, so I don't think it's emulation. I think this actually has the you know, the Genesis chip built into the board here, so it is actually playing the game. We have something down here for region locked games, apparently, a little switch down here. So yeah, I think it's going to be hopefully quite an interesting little one. And it's that time to give a big shout out to the biggest supporters over on Patreon, and that's the My Mate Vince Massive. This month that consists of Operational 117, KitDigital.com, Kip Hakes, Max Rokotansky, Having Fun Repairs, Ellensburg Amplifier Repair and Service, Will Michaelis, Chris Seal, Dorian from Hooverlux Restorations, MediaSteamer.com, Rob Hughes, Felipe at MrKeeves.com, and Dan Prutton. Big round of applause to all of you. Thank you so much. So this is the sort of console that you would get from AliExpress. Ooh, look at that. Okay. So that's the on and off switch there. That's that region lock switch. Well, initially it looks, I think it looks okay. Looks like there was a screw here originally. Oh, also the button's jammed in here as well. You see that button there? The C button. See what we got. Ah, the screen's broken. Yeah, the screen's smashed. Can you see there? Ah, that's a shame. But it should still work on AV out, shouldn't it? Yeah, big crack going down here. Ah, disappointing. I wonder, I do have other game consoles around the place. I wonder, you know, like Chinese ones. I wonder whether one of them would fit. Let's undo it from here and see. So that's it there. I wonder whether you could buy one, because it is marked up here FY24001 YXH. Well, now that I've taken the dodgy screen out, I wonder whether it will come to life. And also now that the button's not being forced down either. I think that's just come out of its home. Yeah, there we go, that's back in its home now. Right, let's turn it on. Oh, I can hear it now. I've tried various different games as well, it's not the games. No. So we would have sound, wouldn't we? So what's going on here? Surely you don't need a working screen in it to make it work. I'm just going to make sure the capacitors are in the right side. Right way around, yeah. Yes, and yes. I can see the shading on the board denotes where the negative is. Let's see what we got in the battery. I think this has built-in games as well, so you can plug in cartridges, but I believe it has built-in games. 63, I think. Yeah, we've got 4.1 volts there, so it's definitely charging the battery. Right, so that's fine. So between here and here, we're going to have 4 volts. Yes, we have. But between here and here, we shouldn't have any voltage. And we haven't. Now let's turn it on. There we go, we've got voltage now. So then it goes up to here, which is what? A capacitor. And then travels into what looks like, maybe, would that be some sort of voltage regulator or something? Should we see if we've got anything coming out of that? So it looks like it comes in the top here. I presume that's going to be on the middle pin there. Yeah, 3.8 volts there. What about this side? 3.8 volts. Then from there it goes where? Up through this resistor. Oh, hold on a minute. Something's missing up here maybe. Something looks weird up here. Let's have a look there. That doesn't look right, does it? And it says L1, so maybe there should be an inductor here. I presume that's supposed to go down to that side of the capacitor. Chroma. So much flux around the place. I'm just looking here and it looks like the solders are kind of a bit blobby round here. So let me zoom in because we have got a little table here. And I think this is how you choose between maybe if it's like PAL or NTSC. Or maybe it's even to do with how quick it runs, whether it's 50 Hz or 60 Hz. But let me zoom in. You see the top one here, it says VCOSEL. And we got a 0 and a 1. Well, I was trying to find it here, but it's not here. But look, it is here. Where's it gone? Here we go. VCO. Now look, that looks like factory, doesn't it? That solder is nice there, and this is empty. So I'm thinking maybe if the top one's soldered and the bottom one's empty, it means 1 and 0, because look, we've got 0, well I suppose 0 and 1, so that's going to be 0 and 1 going from the bottom. But now have a look here, TV65, so surely that should be, see we've got 3 pads, haven't we? So this bottom one is NC, not connected. But I wonder now whether, see these are all the same, aren't they? 10, 10, 10. I'm wondering, could it just be that there's a blob of solder on that one there connecting up this one here, which is shorting it out? So I think that looks pretty standard, a bit dirty. That looks pretty standard. That doesn't. So I'm wondering if solder's dripped down onto here and messed it up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this one off, just put the blob of solder between here and here, because maybe it's shorting it to ground. Is this a ground? Let's have a look. Right, so let's go to a negative on the capacitor here. And now let's go to here. No, so where does it? This must be a ground here, surely. Yeah, it is a ground. Look, I'm on here. So maybe that's it, because look, now that's bringing it onto there, but these are not. Oh, yes, they are. Well, maybe they're grounded through that one there. Yeah, I suppose, look, that rail here is all connecting here. So I think we're grounding this. I think that's the problem. Let's get the soldering iron on. Right, let's see now what's going to happen if I take that off there. Let's see if that's still shorting. So again, I'm just on here. No. So maybe that was it. Maybe it was pushing it to pushing that to ground. Right, let's now turn it on and let's see if it's going to make any other sounds. Yes! Brilliant, there we go. Listen. Excellent. Fantastic. Right, let's just pop the screen in just to see if there's any backlight or anything on the screen. So that was it. It was just solder that had gone down there and shorted those pins out there. Luckily for me, they had that little diagram. Even though I couldn't really make any sense of it, at least I knew that the other two should have looked like that one there. That other one should have looked like the other two. Excellent. Right, let's see now if anything's going to happen on this little screen. It goes. Yes, it is. Look at that. There we go. So it only started working when I hit some buttons. So this must be like the menu for the game. Let's go to, I think that's start up here. Let's go down. See if there's a different music. There we go. It is, isn't it? Oh, fantastic. Right, so I'm wondering if AV is going to work now. I wonder whether the inductor's purely for AV, because it is up in that corner, isn't it? This corner up here. So maybe the AV is not going to work until I get an inductor in there. But what inductor do I put in there? Right, let's... what else? What else? Oh, well, let's see if a game is going to work. So Golden Axe, we know what that sounds like, don't we? Fantastic. Look at that. Oh, well, listen to that, I should say. Ah, such a shame about the screen, because that would have just been the nicest fix. Oh, I can just see. Oh, I can just make out the bottom. Look, you can see the people here. I can just make out the bottom of the screen there. Ah. Right, what I am going to do is see if I can get one of these screens. I'm going to have a look, see if they are available or not. I'm going to punch in the details that's marked on the ribbon cable. And it's a 40-pin connector. So I might be okay. Unfortunately, I looked at this screen and also the little Mega Drive portable player here, which is different. It's a different brand. And they're both widescreen, and this isn't. This is like 4:3. Right, bad news. I've looked into the screen and I won't be able to get one. So it's an FY24001. The only places that I can see selling it is a place in Russia. But even when I translate, when I go through to checkout, I can't translate. I don't even know if they post to the UK or not. It's actually this one here. So when I click on it, it's this screen here. It's a 2.36 inch. And luckily, they've also put the pin down here, because otherwise I would have bought the wrong screen. So you can see here, pins 1 to 8 on this are the data bus, and it goes all the way down to pin 40. Yeah. But yet, when I go onto AliExpress, they have two that look identical until I looked real close. So all of the others have different ribbon cables. But when I look at these ones here, I thought, brilliant, you know, a bit expensive, £12.80 for what it is, but I thought it would be worth it. But yet when I look closely, when I actually looked at the ribbon cables, although these are 40 pin, the ribbon cables are flipped on this one here. So pin 1 on here, so pin 1 to 8 on the other one were data, but they're not. On this one here, pins 33 to 40 are the data. And just to show you what I mean, so you can see now that that's the back of it there, that's the front of it there, yeah. But if you look closely here, you just about make out that it's 1 this side and 40 that side. But yet on my one, when you look at the back of it, it's the opposite. We've got 1 on the right hand side and 40 that side there. So yeah, luckily I didn't buy that, because I can tell by the ribbon cable when I look at the traces on here closely that they're different to the one that I have. They are flipped when I look at it. So yeah, it's not an option, which is a real shame. I did find the original listing for it. It's no longer available, so I don't know the price of it, but you can see it here, pocket game, and it's got 68 games included. Yeah, so I mean it would be fully fixable if I could get the screen, but that's not an option. So let's get it back together and see what it looks like on the telly. Right, unfortunately it's not working on AV, so you can see it down here. I've just got Golden Axe in, and I've got the TV here set to AV. But when we plug this in here, you can see it's all garbled. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get some wires and I'm going to solder them onto the 4 contacts on the board where this 2.5mm jack plugs into. That will then allow me to swap the wires around until I get a combination that works. So we can see at the moment it's garbled. But for example, I don't know where the video is in relation to the 2.5mm plug, or where the ground is, or where the audio is. So by just soldering on 4 wires, it will allow me to physically touch them on different parts of the plug to then see if they come up on the TV or not. So that's what I'm going to do now. Right, let's just try to roughly work this out. So it definitely says video here on the board, just here, with a little test pad just next to it, just there. So that one is going to this one here. So we're thinking the green is going to be the video. Now, grounds. We know that this here on the outskirts here is going to be grounds, but then that doesn't necessarily mean that this is wired up correctly. Yeah, so you see grounds coming up there, so that's probably, it could be as simple as that. So what I'm going to do is, let me see now which one's video on here. So that's the video here, so we're going to be on the middle one. So really I need the green on the middle one, and the ground is going to be on that one there. Right, so I'm going to put green on the middle, and ground on that one there. Let me just see if I can work out, are any of these coming up as grounds? So this one here is coming up as ground. So if we were to hold this one here and the green on the middle, then in theory we should have video on the TV. Let's try that. Right, we're not going to have any sound coming out of here because we've got the speakers gone. Right, so I'm on AV now, so let's plug this into the back. And now, let's turn this on. Presume that's on. Just balance it on there. And what did I say? I said green is going to be on this one. And this one here is going to be there. Yes, look at that. Brilliant. There we go. So it is going to work if you have the correct lead. Oh, that's really good. Excellent. Right, okay, so that's a bit awkward though, because the lead, yeah, I'm going to have to try to make something up for that. So to make up this cable took me longer than I thought, hence the voiceover in the video here. I think it took me up an hour to actually make. The problem was I needed a 4-pole plug. So we know it's 2.5mm in size, but I needed 4-pole, not 3-pole. So a 4-pole plug actually has 4 different contacts on the plug, and you probably recognise them maybe from your mobile phones when you used to plug them in and you could have a microphone on your little headphone cable as well as stereo left and right. Well, on this one here we only needed 2 outputs. We only needed the video and also just 1 mono to get the sound into the TV. But for some reason on a 3-pole it wasn't working out. It needed to be 4-pole. So once I plugged the 4-pole in, it made a lot more sense. So I already had these from my Mr. Telephone days, so I just plugged in like ones that you can solder yourself. So I've just plugged it in, and then I'm using a continuity test to see which one is the video, and then which one is the ground or the shield, and then also which one is responsible for the audio. When I know that, then it's easy. I can just get any standard twin phono cable, RCA cable, and then we know which is a shield on them. Again, you can just use your continuity test, but the shield is always going to be the braided one, and then we can work out easily which is the which one we're going to use for video. So on this one here, I'm just using a black and a red phono jack. If I had a yellow one, I would have used that for video, but I haven't. So I'm using red for the audio and I'm using black for the video. And then I just need to solder up to the pins that I've already verified on the 2.5mm 4-pole jack. And then to give it a bit of strength, I cover the connector in liquid tape and then screw it back all together. And do you know what? It actually ends up looking quite a professional job that I'm very happy with. And I went for a 5-meter cable because normally with these things, I don't know about this one, but ones like it, they ship with like a 1 or a 1.5 meter cable, which is rubbish because you don't want to sit that close to the TV. Now in the UK, 5 meters is going to cover most of the houses because TVs realistically are probably unlikely to be 5 meters or more away from your settee or your couch that you're sitting on. So 5 meters should be ample. And that way then you can kick back, relax and play the Mega Drive on the big screen without having to have your nose glued right up to the TV. So that's what I'm doing here in this massive long fast forwarded bit. And then once I've done that, I'll show you the cable at the very end and then we can see it working on the TV. There we go, looking good. Soldered the speaker back on and we're ready to put it back together. I was looking at this one, see if I could find an inductor, because remember the inductor's missing from up here. But I can't find any inductor on here, and this also outputs via AV, so maybe the inductor's not for the AV side of things. I'm not sure what that would be used for, that inductor up in that corner. I was hoping I could take one from there, but I can't. So I'm just going to leave it. Oh, now that wire's come off. I'm just going to leave it and see how it works. Hopefully it will work just fine without it. Right, amazingly, it actually works a lot better than I thought it would. So check this out. Turn it on. You can see that it's going to come up here. Sound works through here. It's just that you have to actually select a game. You'll hear it all kick in a minute. There we go. Okay. But now if I plug it into here, you will see it will come up on the TV. And if I reset it, you will see the list of games. So I'll just show you one of the built-in games to begin with, and then I'm going to show you a little bit of Golden Axe, which is a cartridge game, which is really nice that you've got an option to play your cartridge games. Now, initial things are, it's good. I think it also sounds pretty good as well. Bad things are, I tried to play Mrs. Pac-Man, and it was unplayable, because you see the way they've done the D-pad is, it's not individual, it's in halves like this. You don't notice it when you're playing other games, but for some reason on Pac-Man, because you kind of need it to be really direct, it was really hard to go up. It does go up, it works, it's just, it's not quick. And I think it's because the way that the D-pad's been split. So that's unusable. The other thing, which is not good, is accidentally you can press reset button really easy. So you can be in the middle of the game, you try to press up, and your thumb hits the reset button, and then it goes back to this bit here. But overall, I'm pretty impressed with it. So if we go to, let's go to Shinobi. So I believe this is working like the Mega Drive because it's actually got a chip on it. So I think that's right, rather than using emulation. So hopefully you can hear that it sounds okay. If we pop that cartridge in here, and then if I was to hit reset, you will see now it will actually load up with the Sega, the same as the Mega Drive. There we go. So it's looking pretty good, isn't it? So that is it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. It was a little bit different. Shame I couldn't get it working fully, but that's just because of the screen. As I say, I will keep my eye out because I think it is worth fixing this one fully, because I think it's quite a nice little handheld device. So massive thanks to Mike for sending it out to me, and hopefully I will be able to look through the rest of the box and get something else. Honestly, there's so many interesting things in that box. So yeah, I'm going to look forward to working my way through them over the next few weeks. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Take care now.
Caught behind Venetian blinds, out of reach for the city lights. This ain't where I belong. Hey, look at me, man, what I've become. I've been running east, looking for a sunset, digging deep since '99. What I thought was gone was sitting in my pocket in plain sight all along.